Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the We Know Traitors podcast over here on RHAP. I'm your host, the Duke of Deception. Here with me, my co-host, Ryan Gregory Scally. The second one, I'm not going to lie to y'all. We're here to talk to the latest person banished from the Traitors Canada manor. Way too early. Very sad. Again, just devastated. We're here to talk to the one and only Kevin Jacobs. Kevin, what happened, Kevin?
I feel like I'm in the principal's office. I have to explain myself, but you know, at the beginning of that roundtable, I was like interrupting Shaughnessy. So you guys lead the way. Pleasure to be here. Let me listen and keep my mouth shut until spoken to.
Oh, please, Kevin. No. We have questions. We need answers. And I feel like a lot of people are going to be curious. We were excited. We were curious to see in which direction this went. Kevin, what happened last
night? Can you be more specific?
Okay.
Well, let's get the couple things out of the way first that
sure.
I know you're going to want to ask. How much time do you have for this? Let's just double check.
You go as long as you need here.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So no, I'm not gonna rant. But I'll share a couple things. One, revenge. I don't care. What I was playing for was a 3-way Traitors win with me, Omer, and Venus, which is really dumb thing to do. But after that first night, I was like, that's the only way I'm playing this game, which is insane. In order to do that, I needed Coco out at one of these round tables. I mapped out every round table, and I was like, okay, if we can get around 4 Traitors banished, and I'm in the end game with them, even in a 3-way Traitors finale, if they do a Traitors dilemma, I think those two would split the money with me. Insane thing to do. So dumb, but that's what I was doing. Second thing, never speak first at the round table. Just apps also just dumb. Third thing, never directly accuse someone because that makes you a traitor. But if you're doing it, I was trying for like a double bluff where I would like get Coco, which again, like I thought I had about a 30% chance going in to actually do it. And then they'd be like, oh, well, Kevin's a traitor because he knew it. But the next night I'd go after Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy wouldn't be after a traitor. It would just create chaos. That said, uphill battle for me. You could always win the game. There's always a way. I screwed up in like 25 different ways. Let's talk about it. Go ahead.
All right. You said many ways. Let's talk about these different ways potentially here. So, Kevin, I think the number one question I have for you is watching the episodes, it's very clear that within the conclave, you are in a very good spot. Both people are looking at you as their number one. Did that not come across to you, or were you not paying attention to that because you had something else on your mind?
So I knew that I was Venus's number one. Coco, I did not know that. And if I did, we would have been working together great. The speed of the game is something that always comes up when people are playing it, how they're surprised by it. But I was playing really, really fast. Coco was doing what's arguably for sure more of an optimal strategy, which is just like chilling and letting the faithful just attack each other. Like such a good response to me in the round table last night, like unbelievable. So I actually didn't know how much she wanted to work together, and we were like a couple check-ins away from me fully trusting her and going down that route. We just couldn't. I didn't know. I didn't know that she wasn't out to get me. I thought she would towards the end of the game. A couple times she dropped Omer's name to me, knowing we were close, and I thought that was like a test for me to see how I'd respond. And little things like that. Sitting in a car with 4 people, including her, where no strategy comes up, that's scary to me. That makes me wonder about what she's doing in other cars. So because of that, I didn't know. If I'd known she was that locked in with me, I would have gone to the end of the game with her.
So you brought up you needed Coco to go here this week, Shaughnessy to go next week for the bluff to work. Yeah. And I get that totally makes sense for you as the traitor. What was the incentive for the faithfuls to go in that direction in that exact order?
Jericho had been there wasn't Scally.
Yeah.
Cross-examining. There wasn't. So Jericho had been throwing out the name. Omer was like, Omer knew I was a traitor from day one as soon as he didn't get selected. So, and I knew he knew that. So when I'm like, we got to go after Coco, Omer, like he's picking up what I'm putting down. It also, I think a part of me, this is an us comment. I'm only saying this here. A part of me hoped that we'd both survive and it wouldn't work and we'd just be in the conclave fighting. That's so stupid. Again, so that's when I was looking at the votes going in. Keep in mind also, like you see me, cramp out at the end. I got heat stroke. Like it was bad afterwards. Like that was real. I was not like, I don't know if you know, the proteins in your brain start folding together when you have heat stroke, but I was not of sound mind at that round table. Which, if you're playing as chaotically as I was, you kind of need an order in the chaos. So I lost it a bit there. But that said, with what the hell was I talking about? Okay,
Yeah.
quality vote. That's really hard to plan for. I knew I was not going to get 9 votes at that round table, which would be a more than majority. Like, I knew there were not 9 people who would vote for me, but there were 6, and it was so chaotic that it created like a 6-3-3 whatever vote, where I was like, oh, that yeah.
Now, did it feel like coming into that round table before, anything kicks off? Did you think that the name that was going to be getting the most votes was Shaughnessy, and you were trying to shift it over to Coco? Or like, what was the consensus name you felt going into the round table?
So as soon as I had that, so I spent the first part of us hanging out after the challenge, like clutching my stomach. You see me drinking like a blue electrolyte drink when I'm talking to Jericho in Hollywood, but I'm just playing so hard. I was like chugging Red Bulls, like trying to just stay conscious. As soon as that conversation happened, I was like, oh, Hollywood's already mad that I told him to sit down during the challenge, which I thought he'd be okay with. But he wasn't. Misplay on my end. And then after that conversation, I could see the body language around. I knew I was probably getting like 1, 2, 3 votes going into that. Shaughnessy would have gone home if I didn't completely lose my mind. But how boring is that?
So, Kevin, you say you wanted to go to the end, do the 3-way win,
Yes,
Traitors
I did,
win with
yeah.
Venus and Omer.
Yeah.
Who are these other traitors we're throwing under the bus in the future? Who's the prime target?
Well, let me talk you through it. So we got to get Coco in this first or second one, and we got to pin Coco as the gamer, because we're playing the archetype game here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So originally we thought Ty could be that, which broke my heart to even think that, like recruited him even before that night. Then we got to get some sort of other reality TV male. We're probably thinking a late game Dom recruitment. Omer is the last recruitment in this situation. And then we got to get a civilian woman, and then we got to get Sarah Nicole. So those would be our recruits. So you talk about the $10,000. It doesn't change so whatever. The prize spot's the prize spot, but in terms of like, you want some traitor on traitor violence, let's recruit them all. Let's create a whole little traitor factory. Recruit, banish. Yeah. So again, like, even just me winning the game alone was possible, but complete uphill battle. Me going for the 3-way Traitors win is so silly, but I just decided, look, I'm doing that. I would rather you talk about like the pacing, where like, Tony goes into US, says, all right, it was fast. You see me again, I'm going to be moving fast. All Big Brother people say, when you go in, it's moving like this. And then I look at, like, I just watched Survivor 48 and Mitch saying, I'm going to make a move the whole game. I don't care if I'm final 5. I don't care if I'm first out. You either win or you lose the game. I screwed up. I played it terribly, but I played to win. I made my move. It didn't work. I was trying to do some fancy stuff that just did not happen.
Yeah, I love that you banish 7 traitors, the final missions for $7 to win in the end. So it would have been fun.
How much of this pivot, Kevin, came down? Because I can't imagine how it felt to be in a position where you think you're setting up your perfect game of bringing in Ty, to then boot Ty and be exonerated as there can't be 2 Big Brother Canada traitors, only to see him go. How much of him leaving made you pivot to, all right, we're just going to go balls to the wall. We're on borrowed time. Let's have as much fun or so as much chaos as we can?
So a lot of it changed my strategy. And I think a part of that is also the setup of like, all right, like we're playing a different game here. We're going to have twists. And I said to you earlier on, like, that first night was the worst night I've had on TV. Just miserable. Like, looking at Venus, who I know was literally like the the person that people didn't believe that Charlie and Maria were running our season. And she's like, we got to get them out. Like, listen to, if you're a dude on reality TV who thinks he knows what he's doing, listen to Venus Vaffa. There's my advice for you. Anyway, so like just that there was no winning either way. Save Ty, I'm screwed. Save Venus, I'm screwed. I'm losing to one of my top people on night one. It wasn't like a let's just have as much fun as possible and screw the game. It was, I'm gonna have as much fun as possible anyway. Right. I don't have the heart in me, whatever, badass, evil. Haven't had the death threats live in a while. That is good. That is good stuff. Anyway, the like, whatever you think of me, I didn't have the heart to turn on Venus or Omar after that. Like, I'm not gonna, as much as I can. Maybe I'm put in a situation where I have to pick between the two of them later on. I'm like, that's the game I'm playing. That's the game I'm okay to play. It was a hard game, but it is what it is. I'm a softie.
Let's say it does go the other way. Let's say Coco gives in, Ty comes into the conclave with you. Are you still turning on Coco this early?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm probably like, so as soon as we recruited, okay, so I'll take you through things. Talk you through a couple things. We thought with Ty and Venus that we'd also have a murder, and we planned on murdering Meredith that first night because she was just coveted to the game. Like, she's a gamer. She's coveted to the game like so hot. We're like, all right, let's nip this in the bud. Okay, but if it's me, Ty, and Coco in there, I'm still devastated about ruining another TV experience for Venus. But I'm also keeping in mind that I recruited Ty knowing that my path to the end is really, really difficult. I probably do need a number one trader who's going to play it with me, and that's going to be Coco. And the only way I can exonerate myself is getting Ty out in the middle of the game, which already killed me before I knew that it was actually happening that night. So no, me and Coco, I'm putting in the work with Coco, which I didn't. It's a two-way street. She didn't put in the work with me, and I didn't put in the work with her. And if Ty was there, we're in lockstep.
During the time leading up to this roundtable, in the last couple of cycles, who was the person you felt like was most on to you or most sus of you, if anybody?
Everybody. They were just afraid to write my name down. So when Hollywood starts going hard for me, everyone's like, yeah, someone else is going to take the lead. Let's do it. Okay, big fans in the cast: Meredith, Jericho, Jamal, Nat. I got DMs from Nat from a couple of years ago. Like, these people are locked in. Like, every Omer knows of a traitor, obviously. Who knows who else did? Like, Jericho was like getting close to reality TV people. Like, it was the same way that it was an uphill battle. I figured, sure, I can put this off, but who's actually not going to banish me? Even, let's say I can pull off getting to the final fire somehow. How the hell am I going to do that? It's actually in my best interest to keep, like, Venus or Omer or Coco there, who are maybe like the three people who potentially would. I mean, Coco I didn't know at the time, but those are the three people who potentially would actually split the money with me. So I'm also trying to make a move here because I don't care if I'm making it to the 6th round table or the 7th. I'm trying to win the game, and like, blew it, but I was trying something.
How much do you think that was just reputation coming in? They're never going to let you versus, the moves you were making here in the game.
70 reputation, 30 the game. And I'm not saying I was like, I couldn't have won. I could have. There's always a way. It was just, I was carried. Like, you heard Jamal at the end being like, I told you he's the most calculated guy. Like, I was trying to keep Jamal close. Like, there's so many people that I had that with. And it's just, it's also the correct move. That is the meta. It is. That's it. Like, they're not going to make Bailey a faithful. They're not going to make Bailey a traitor next year. Like, Bailey's a faithful. I'm telling you that if she's on the next, like, they have to change it after this. But you just have to assume a survivor, a Big Brother person's in the turret, and you're silly not to. But that was fun for me. It was so hard, Pooya. Sit on your throne and talk about how easy it is. Go in there and do it. Be the man in the arena.
Here's what I will say. I don't think I fare well. I've said this. This is why I'm like, it's weird. It's weird being in this position and talking about it and knowing the stuff, because I know being in there is a completely different ballgame for sure. But to your point, I think that this meta thing, we always talk about the next season getting the invoice of that, right? you are coming into season 3 with the winner of season 2 being a sole traitor from Big Brother Canada. And I can only imagine how you feel when you get to be a traitor and then lose the only other BB Can person night 1. And you're like, well, damn, like they have to be looking at me. Even if they weren't looking at you, I feel like that's going to weigh on your mind so heavily that it's going to charge your game up.
And look, just because my game was harder again, like I own it. I screwed up. I made my mistakes. And it was going to be a tough game for me anyway. And to win it, I would have had to play perfectly. If we're talking about the checks being cashed, like at this point, if you're going into like season 4 or even the rest of this season, like you can't assume anything. I was sitting pretty the day before this. Like, sure, people thought I was a traitor, but they weren't coming for me for a couple days, and things move so fast. People get more paranoid. They're only going to get more paranoid after a disgusting plurality vote like this, and then a recruitment / murder. Like this game's you can't predict things. I almost wish to give myself advice one day at a time. Don't try to plan. Don't try to game this. Don't try to have control. There is an element to the anyone but me. And I was okay playing the friend game in this case, but it's hard enough to get there alone.
Kevin, at the beginning of the game, there's a little bit of a twist where your shoulder's not touched, and you, in fact, think you're a faithful for a brief moment before you find out. What were your thoughts there? How do you think you would have done as a faithful?
So in the moment, I was like, I don't know how a faithful acts. Let me try and I was like looking at Matt beside me. I was like, okay, let me do what she's doing. I don't know what I was planning on being a traitor. Like, I don't know what to do here. But then I had a second before the twist happened. I was like, all right, let's go. You want to challenge me, production? Like, you want to challenge me, Korean? Let's do it. Let's see how this goes. I planned on being quite vocal, which I actually was at the roundtables. Like, I would say a lot of just words, but and hope that my reputation would stop me from getting murdered. But you inherently have an advantage as a traitor. Like, I lost. I went in with an advantage in the game. That is a massive advantage.
If you were given the invitation, Kevin, season 4 envelope in your mailbox, Kevin, come back. You going back?
That's a very specific question. Given the nature of the show, I would be open to it. I think that the thing that I don't think you're going to see me on TV for a while. I would be open to it. Like I'll never say no, but I'd be surprised if you see me. I got a lot of work to do on myself, Pooya. I got a lot of work to do.
Okay, I guess we all do.
That's the beautiful thing about these. It's 24/7. You're in the arena. You get your best qualities out there. You get your worst qualities out there, and like, okay, there are these ultra marathons that I've recently gotten obsessed with. Not actually doing them, just watching TikToks of the people.
Okay, as an enthusiast.
Goggins is coming like 10th in these things. Like, these guys are freaks. So there's this guy Killian Korth, and this is the first time in years that he's won the Triple Crown, which is a 200-mile race, another 200-mile, and he just won the Moab 240 miles. Absolute freaks. Like, I would die. We know I would get medically evacuated from this. But so Killian breaks the record for the 3 races. He's won all of them this year. And I was watching one of his videos, and he said something so interesting. And he said, like, actually, when you're in there and it hurts and you're going through it, and like you got your brain's like getting mad at itself. He says the low is the reward. And I actually think like this loss, this getting banished, this like fall from, talking my trash and having my fun and like going like this with my whole body cramping is like this is a reward. You learn so much from it. And that's why I'm thankful for these experiences. So if the call comes, you never say no, but it does push you to your limits in a way that you can only get in a televised game of paranoia.
Kevin, if not you on season 4, you mentioned Bailey. Who else from Big Brother Canada do we need to see on the Traitors?
I mean, I gotta see Dougie in there. Like that's like I don't know what he'd be doing. I'd like to see Ty get another shot, but like yeah, Bailey, Dougie, Ty, like those are some interesting personalities that I mean, it's a hard game, man.
That was going to be my next question, Kevin. Compared to, and obviously they're very different games to a degree. How difficult was the Traitors compared to Big Brother Canada?
Totally different. So, I mean, Big Brother Canada is, first of all, the biggest difference for me is not actually the game or the format. It was that I knew people going in. That changed a lot of my experience. Big Brother Canada, like, didn't know anybody. You know, you kind of just go in and do your thing. You see the chessboard and you play it that way, and everybody's starting from the same position. Having role-based elements in this game was super interesting with Faithfuls and Traitors. Obviously, you know, I played some games like that online, but I'd say that was the biggest change. In terms of the speed, like, I'm going to go fast. I'm going to play fast. Great. I have no problem with that. I actually hated any downtime. Like, I want to be filmed 24/7. I you know, like I don't want breaks. I want a camera in the washroom in case there's a game related talk and you can record the audio. Like that's anyway. With that said, to me, Traitors is very camp. So is Big Brother Canada. It is absolutely a game, but it's also a show. And the fact that so much happens in such a short period of time, like 2 people go a day, you kind of just need to just be there and send it all the time because you don't know what's going to happen. Big Brother Canada, you can kind of sit down and like if me and Coco had an hour to talk a day, we would have been the friggin', you know, king and queen out there, but we didn't. So I couldn't pull someone one-on-one and have an hour conversation. That just doesn't exist. That would be the biggest change. Was that clear or did I just ramble?
No,
it made sense. Good. I feel like I'd never thought of it that way. The fact that if you are being filmed 24/7, you're always in that game mode versus if there's an on, off, it's a little bit harder to like get in and out. It's like, I think of it in like Severance terms. It's like hard to be constantly 2 versions of a person. Yeah.
My innie and my outie were like both in there. It was like very odd to experience. I think also like the Traitors bounce back like a week and I was, you know, a normal person again. The Big Brother bounce back after 3 months in there is like Jillian holding my hand as I cross the street being like, oh, that's a car noise. Like just the difference in like the brain chemistry that happens. And there is totally like, I knew I was on a show on Traitors. On Big Brother Canada, you like forget, you become your innie. You actually, but that's I'm using that. You become your innie entirely. And then when you get out, you got to transition back.
Kevin, you mentioned, you know, it's a plurality vote. You don't get a ton of votes. What was the most surprising or toughest vote you end up getting?
Okay, so I love Jericho voting for me. That is my boy. Oh my God. That's like a killing your like mentor. I love him coming for me. I expected Jamal at some point. I expected Hollywood. Kara, I knew would be coming my way. Great relationship with Sarah Nicole, and I like that they're building up her army a little bit. She's just the most lovely. So like I'm totally good with her coming my way. And then the 6th vote I think was Shaughnessy. So I'd say Jericho was like, he came up and I was a little hurt and I was always like, that's my boy. I love that. I love him getting the kill shot.
Were you yes-anding anyone that was throwing sus your way? Because I feel like I saw like at least 3 different conversations, 3 episodes where someone's like, Kara, you're like, should we go that way? Do you think that's who we should do? I feel like you yes-anded quite a bit. What are your thoughts on that?
Netta did this thing that was really interesting where she always had like 2 names in her mouth without a lot of social clout or capital. So I was trying to do something similar, but I'd almost just like, you're right. Like I would like mirror people a little bit. It was very hard to tell, especially with this many people still in with like 17, 18 people. Like it's very hard to tell where the heat's going. So you almost just want to blend in. All right, Asfer's going this night. Great, let's go after him. Everybody's going after Curtis night one. Let's go. You actually don't really know until the round table, at least at this stage, because it's impossible to navigate everything. So yeah, I did a lot of mirroring. It kind of helps to have like what Thompson was talking about. It helps to have that beef. The Thompson Rhea, like that can be a really good thing. The Lizette Meredith. I almost think I should have just found like I almost think I just should have been like, Nat, Nat, you I thought you were a faithful. Like there's an element of that could have helped. But again, like you talk too much, you're screwed. You talk too little, you're screwed. It's such a fine balance, and I'd rather overdo it than underdo it.
Okay, so, and knowing we agree, you know, if you were going for a solo win, there's things you could have done. But you set a very difficult win condition for yourself. Is there anything you could have done to further that cause? What would you have changed? Still
Solo
going for
win?
the same? No, still going for the team win, the 3-person. You know, it's very difficult. Is there anything you could have done, or this was
100%.
the one and only?
I could have, you know, forget those the exact order of like mapping out every round table and every banishment. Venus was right. And so when I'm running my AI simulations before the season, I had like a good chunk of the cast in there, and a lot of my win conditions had Venus at the end, and a lot of my notes to myself said, listen to Venus, she has good reads. And then I did not listen to Venus, and I just went for it I could have waited. This could have waited a round table or two, and maybe it would have hit, and maybe I could have been loud and wrong about a faithful later. The win conditions were hard. I was cooked in a lot of scenarios, but yeah, for sure, there's stuff I could have done better.
Well, Kevin, we could sit here and talk to you for another hour. You already know this, but we do have to wrap up. But instead of doing any other wrap up, I just want to give you the mic, give you the stage. What are the parting words you want to give us here before we end this interview?
Get out of your comfort zone and push yourself, because like I had a tough time out there. You can see it, and I'm so thankful for the opportunity. I'm so thankful for you guys for covering the show. So, and thanks for everybody who's tuning in here, because it's I said I had a bob in my pocket. Imagine me setting that off at the round table, people having no idea what's going on, me just completely losing it, that vote. Like, where are we going from here? So if you're sad I'm gone, like, keep tuning in, because if you're a traitor or a faithful, the rest of the season is not going to be easy for anyone.
Okay, I lied. I have one more question for you, Kevin.
Yeah.
Who would do better on Traitors, me or Scally?
Does anybody know who either of you are?
Let's say no.
Okay, you'd do better.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We do appreciate you being here, Kevin. Once again, we love you here. Very sad to see you go, but this was a very healing conversation. And
thanks
I
for
cannot.
having me. Scally's too handsome. They just slit his throat right away.
And I'm ugly. I get it.
They just be like, "You're out." Yeah. All right. Thanks.
All right. No worries. Take care. Have a good one.
Bye.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.